Welcome, wrestling fans, to this WWE show review on Terminal Show as I'm reviewing the Monday Night Raw from Glendale, Arizona on November 25th, 2024, and we would see this Raw kicked off with the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther as he would be interviewed inside the ring, asked about what happened last week when we seen Gunther try to sneak attack the number one contender, Damian Priest, but that would backfire with Priest being able to counter and send a message to the World Heavyweight Champion saying, Gunther, you may be a general inside the ring, but out here on the streets, Damian Priest is a king. And then we would see Gunther be asked about his confidence heading into Survivor Series War Games, but he would be interrupted by Damian Priest as the number one contender comes out to the ring to confront Gunther face to face, saying whatever he's got to say, he can say it to my face. But before Gunther could say anything, Damian Priest would say, what's going on with you, Gunther, man? I don't see the same aura that I used to, man. You don't have that same confidence in you like you used to. Anytime someone used to come into this ring, you would take care of them or say whatever you want or do whatever you want. And when I'm here, you're just not doing that, man. But I'll tell you why you don't have that confidence in you anymore. You don't have that aura. It's because of me. Because you're scared of what I'm able to do and what I'm capable of heading into Survivor Series War Games where I'm going to take your World Heavyweight Championship. And then he would also say that, Gunther, you have just not been the same since you lost to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. And that's when Gunther would attack Damian Priest, trying to send a message, beating him down inside the ring and outside the ring. But before Damian Priest would get the advantage and counter and put Gunther through a table using the Razor's Edge as the number one contender, Priest sends a huge message to the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther before their match at WWE's premium live event, Survivor Series War Games. What a way to kick off Monday Night Raw. And then we would see up next, backstage, as we would see Bianca Belair being talked to by her teammates Naomi and Io Sky of Team Rhea Ripley. But we would see that the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion would be without her partner, Jade Cargill, as she was attacked on Friday Night SmackDown and taken out indefinitely. So now Rhea Ripley's team is short one member, with Io Sky trying to give her opinion and advice, saying why not ask Kairi Sane to join. But that's when Bianca would say, nah, we don't need no more damage control in this group. And Naomi would suggest, how about Bayley, who already has her own issues with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, who are on Team Liv Morgan. But Bianca Belair doesn't like this idea either because she's had a really bad history with Bayley as of lately. And that's when Rhea Ripley would come in and say, it doesn't matter who else is on our team as long as they pull their own weight and stay out of my way when I go after Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion. And then we would see Bianca go, okay, champ, all right, leader, how about you go ahead and you worry about who our fifth member is going to be, and I'll focus on my match later on tonight, as we would see Bianca Belair go one-on-one with the Women's WWE Champion Nia Jax, and the winner would get the advantage for their team heading into Survivor Series War Games. What a Monday Night Raw. And next up after this, guys, we would see our first match of the evening, as it would be a tornado tag team match with American-made, the Creed brothers, going up against the team of LWO, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. An incredible match from these two tag teams, as we have not seen a tornado tag team match in a while on Monday Night Raw, and these two teams left it all inside the ring, showing off their athleticism, but it was only a matter of time before we would see Chad Gable get involved in this matchup. When the referee's back was turned, he would grab Rey Mysterio's mask and turn it sideways, and that would cause a distraction where Rey could not see, and the Creed brothers would take advantage as American Made would get the victory over LWO in this matchup. And then next up on Monday Night Raw, we would see that last Friday's surprising member, the fifth member of Team Roman Reigns, CM Punk, would become the fifth member of Roman Reigns' team thanks to the wise man Paul Heyman. And that had over 72 million social media views for the WWE and became the most viewed viral moment for Friday Night SmackDown in 2024. What an incredible moment that was, and what an incredible Survivor Series War Games it's it's going to be with these two teams. And then next up, guys, on Monday Night Raw, we would see backstage as the Judgment Day was talking to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez about their matchup advantage going on later tonight, as Liv was nervous about this match where Nia Jax goes one-on-one with Bianca Belair. And Finn would say, you have all right to be nervous, Liv, but relax, take it easy, and we'll make sure we'll give you as much confidence as we can back here. But that's when he would turn to Dominic Mysterio and criticize Dom after not stopping Damian Priest for getting back into the World Heavyweight Championship picture. And because of that, he also would criticize both him and Carlito for not beating the War Raiders last week. But he would end on a compliment saying, at least you guys softened him up for us, because we would see the World Tag Team titles on the line later than on the night in Monday Night Raw, with JD McDonough and Finn Balor defending them against the War Raiders. And Finn Balor would end by saying, we are all a family. We all got to stick together, and we know there's not one leader here among us, but when Finn Balor leads, we all win. But that's when JD McDonough would interrupt Finn Balor before he could finish his sentence and say, we all win as a family. And it looks like maybe we could see some cracks in this faction for the Judgment Day. We'll have to wait and see what happens going on after this Monday Night Raw. But then after this, guys, we would see our next match of the night, as Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental Champion, would go one-on-one with Ludwig Kaiser. And these two would put on one hell of a match, with Kaiser really impressing with his in-ring ability. But it would just be a matter of time before Sheamus would get involved in this matchup, especially after what happened last week when Ludwig Kaiser got involved in an Intercontinental Championship match with Sheamus versus Braun Breaker. And because of that, Sheamus came out for a little bit of payback, which caused a disqualification in this matchup, which Braun Breaker would not be too happy about, confronting the Celtic Warrior about this before all three of these men would beat the living hell out of each other, until General Manager Adam Pearce would come out and say, that's enough. You three want to fight? Fine. It's a triple threat then for the Intercontinental Championship at Survivor Series War Games, as we now see another championship match added to the premium live event, WWE Survivor Series War Games. What a Monday Night Raw. And then we would see next up after this, backstage, as we would see main event Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn, the OG Bloodline, be interviewed about the viral moment that happened on Friday Night SmackDown when CM Punk became their fifth member for Team Roman thanks to the wise man Paul Heyman. Sami Zayn would say, even though CM Punk has a lot of enemies and a lot of people don't trust him, we'll have to see if he is trustworthy. And that's when Jimmy would say, come on, Sammy, all you gotta do is listen to the wise man. The wise man says we can trust him, so it's all good. Just listen to the wise man. And you know what? Jay is gonna face Jacob Fatu on Friday Night SmackDown and win that advantage match for our team. And that's when main event Jey Uso would get pumped up, as we will see Jey Uso go one-on-one with the Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu on Friday Night SmackDown in their advantage match to see which Survivor Series War Games team will have the advantage heading into the premium live event. Then next up, guys, here on Monday Night Raw, we would see Finn Balor and JD McDonough defend their World Tag Team Championships against the tag team of the War Raiders, Eric and Ibar. And we'd see an amazing back and forth match in this one, with Eric and Ibar looking like they were going to win the titles before Dirty Dominic Mysterio and Carlito, the Judgment Day, are up to their old tricks once again as they get involved, providing the distraction that Finn Balor and JD McDonough needed to win this matchup and retain their World Tag Team Championships, as the Judgment Day looks like they're closer than ever after this sort of meeting and them coming out helping their friends. But we'll have to see what happens later on next week's Monday Night Raw. Then next up after this, guys, we would see the New Day, as they will be celebrating their 10 years as a tag team and as a faction on next week's Monday Night Raw. And they would open up with with sort of a video really advertising that, and that's when Xavier and Kofi Kingston would have kind of apologized and make amends, as these two have really been on the rocks as of lately, arguing and fighting, not really getting on the same page like we're accustomed to seeing the New Day do. They're not full of positivity, folks, I can tell you that, but heading into this matchup, they seem to be on the same page and work things out as they would go up against the team of Alpha Academy, as Otis and Tozawa were looking to go ahead and get a victory in this match after last week when Xavier Woods challenged them to this match. And then we would see, to start the match off, some miscommunication and confusion from the New Day, as we would see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston argue, and as Kofi tried to start the match, it would be Xavier Woods tagging himself in, and after he did that, we would see Otis and Tozawa take advantage as we see Alpha Academy gets the upset victory over the New Day, pinning Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston was not happy, folks. Oh my goodness, he was so upset, trying to explain to Xavier Woods what happened and why he did that, why he thought that was a good idea. But Woods would be so pissed and furious, just yelling at Kofi over and over again, blaming him for what happened in the match there. And then we would see Xavier call Kofi garbage in the back, where these two were still going at it and arguing. And that's when Kofi would clap right back, saying, "Oh, well, if I'm garbage out there, then what did you just do? You know what, Xavier? There's a reason why me and Big E didn't let you call the plays when we were all together. It's because you're just not good enough." And the crowd was reacting big time to these two friends, the New Day, conflicting with each other. Oh my goodness, this argument went out of hand, man, with Xavier calling out Kofi, Kofi calling out Xavier, and now we have to see on the 10-year anniversary of the New Day, will these two even be a tag team anymore? Oh my goodness, a lot of words were said in this confrontation that you can't take back, like Xavier Woods saying that Kofi blew his chance at being a champion after he let Brock Lesnar beat him in 6 seconds, but that's when Kofi would clap right back at Xavier, saying, "And how come you've never won a singles title in your championship?" Oh, that's because, again, you're just not good enough. Oh man, tensions are high with the New Day. Then next up after this, guys, we would see Final Testament and The Miz, as The Miz came into the locker room trying to talk to Karrion Kross, saying he saw the Wyatt Six in the arena. And that's when Karrion would say, "Well, Miz, did they see you?" And Miz would shake his head no. And because of that, Karrion Kross came up with a plan to go after them, but would tell his wife, his partner, to stay inside the locker room. And that would be a big mistake, as because in that locker room, we would see after they leave, it would be Nikki Cross of the Wyatt Six that ended up scaring her and scarring her, as when Miz and Karrion Kross came back to the locker room, that's when they would see their locker room decimated and her scared out of her mind, trying to get into the arms of Karrion Kross, with Karrion trying to ask what happened. But we'd see on the back of there, on a mirror, a message was left that everybody has something to lose. Oh my goodness, as we see that the Wyatt Six have found their next victims, as Karrion Kross, The Miz, and the Authors of Pain look to be those next victims. Then next up here, guys, on Monday Night Raw, we would have our main event of the evening, as we would see one half of the WWE's Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair, go one-on-one with WWE Women's Champion, Nia Jax. And the winner of this match would get the advantage for their team heading into Survivor Series War Games. And that advantage is that each person has to come out by a certain time clock or order. So the advantage will go to the team that wins this matchup, and they will get their first person to come out and have a 2-on-1 advantage to start their Survivor Series War Games match. And in this match, these two ladies would leave it all inside the square circle, showing off all their athleticism, with Bianca Belair getting the upper hand early. But it would be Nia Jax near the end of the match that looked like she was gonna take out Bianca Belair, beating her outside of the ring, throwing her into the steel steps. And as she's waiting for the ref to count her out, we would see Bayley come to the help of Bianca Belair, hitting and attacking Nia Jax. And that's when Bianca Belair would take advantage with a 450 splash on the top rope and pins the WWE's Women's Champion in Nia Jax and gives Team Rhea Ripley the advantage heading into Survivor Series War Games. And what an epic Monday Night Raw, and what an epic premium live event it's gonna be when WWE heads to Survivor Series War Games. I cannot wait. But guys, a big announcement was made on this Monday Night Raw as well, as General Manager Adam Pearce revealed that there is a new championship belt on Monday Night Raw for the women's division, and that belt would be the Women's Intercontinental Championship belt, as the WWE Women's Division now has another championship belt to determine who's the best of the best. This is after we've also seen on Friday Night SmackDown a couple weeks ago, the Women's United States Championship belt debuted with a championship tournament there afterwards, and we would also see one for the WWE's Intercontinental Championship, as we will see a tournament to determine who will be the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion starting next week on Monday Night Raw. And this has been your WWE show review from Tim Reynolds Show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel and leave some comments on what you guys thought of this Monday Night Raw and what you guys think of Survivor Series War Games, as we're heading into that very, very soon. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, and thank you so much for hanging out here and checking out this WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show. Make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for all the support. Peace out, everybody.